Good morning, everyone. Chill Girl Chrissy here, Alderman in Ward 6, and we are back to do some straight up talking, fueling our mind, body, and soul with goodness. And it's so great to welcome you guys back.
Well, thank you.
Avalon Lewis and
Yes.
Desean Oliver.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
It's
good to be back.
Good to be back. Good to
Yeah.
talk some more great truth and connecting and sharing the love. And how long has it been? I mean, I just watched our last Chill and Heal show, which was like just great conversation.
Well-
and I highly recommend going back and listening to these two extraordinary
Yeah,
men.
we did the last show.
Maybe
was it-
either a little under a month ago or maybe over a
under,
month.
I think it's under. I think it's
Yeah.
like
About a month ago?
three,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more than 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm in a little bit of a time warp.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited you're here. And we talked about DEI, we talked about
Yep.
Black Lives Matter, we talked about the pandemic, plandemic, we talked about hijacked, how Dr. Martin Luther King's dream has been hijacked, and you both totally agreed. And you didn't even know this, my good friend Clarence, pastor in Washington and New Mexico, but you agreed that Dr. King's dream has been hijacked.
Yep, it has been. It has been in several different ways. It has been hijacked, and I totally disagree with the way it's been implemented. But he did say, what was it? I have a dream.
Yes.
Okay, and I have a dream. You have a dream. You have a dream.
Yes.
That we will take our country back.
I definitely agree. But when we turn a little bit and look at DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I believe that mainly is pretty much affirmative action, but on steroids almost.
Big time, big time.
So what they want to do is they want to hire a lot of people that aren't qualified to fit certain positions in the first place, and they want to venture further away from that and do. So not away from that, but in addition to, they want to hire a lot of the illegals that's coming into this country. So with DEI, they just hire people that aren't qualified in the first place. But
Can you repeat that? So they're hiring people that aren't qualified?
yeah, they're not
Yeah.
qualified. It's no longer a merit-based economy anymore. Although it is now mainly, but they're trying to venture
They're
away
trying to
from
change it
Exactly.
into this DEI, which is actually not good.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, if you have to go into a hospital and get some sort of surgery, you want to make sure that doctor knows what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that the pilot of a plane knows how to fly a plane so they can land the plane, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
people have to know how to do a certain job. I mean, I'm a plumber. I mean, I have to know how to plumb your house. If I don't do it correctly, you pay all this money, and it's like
Blood.
yeah, it would be ridiculous. I mean, people take plumbing for granted, but if it falls apart, what are you going to do now? I mean, you need clean drinking water.
So important.
This is going to really affect our economy. It's going to have a strong backlash. A lot of people don't want to say anything against DEI because they'll be deemed as, I guess, racist, but it's
Right.
not racist to want
not-
people that are qualified
Yeah,
for a position.
exactly,
Especially, I
exactly.
always talk about doctors as the perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of backlash in 2020, and for good reason, 2020 and 2021 because of the whole COVID-19, pandemic, the vaccine and all that. But we need to have people that are qualified in a lot of positions, whether it's doctors, lawyers, pilots, what have you. I mean, we can't have people that are not qualified. We have to go back to a merit-based economy.
And I'm glad that you started with DEI because DEI is a part of this, can you see that? Yes, a part of this great reset. And and this leads into our main topic, which is Marxism. And a lot of people, some people are asking, what is Marxism?
Yeah, what is it?
Some people have this belief or idea of what Marxism is. But just to put it in a nutshell, and I got to tell you, we can do I think we can do 6 or 7 shows on this topic, this one topic alone, because there's so much information here that you may or may not know. And not that we don't know it all.
Right.
I mean, we're just discovering more and more and more. But this idea of Marxism includes the environmental movement. It includes abortion. It includes religion as it relates to the earth being the God, not the not the creation of the God, but the God itself. It has a lot to do. I mean, there is so much to it that I wish I had all the information that I could convey it to you. But there is a lot to it, and we've brought a few books out here. One is called Hijack, and I'm gonna let the lady go through that. Yes.
So hijacked, how Dr. Martin Luther King's dream has been hijacked by Clarence Washington, and he's an author, and you can go to clarencewashingtonauthor.com and get it, and I highly recommend it. It breaks down how we, as Americans, they're breaking us down and dividing us, and we shouldn't be divided.
Right.
And it's a 5-book series now. I haven't gotten the other one. So I highly recommend it, and it is true. Dr. Martin Luther King's dream has been hijacked.
It has been.
And we need to take it back.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
we need to take it back with respect, love, kindness, and the whole truth. And that's what I love, is just really nice conversations that are uncomfortable sometimes.
There are some real, there's some real truths out there, real conversations, real subjects, real topics that people want to talk about. Right now, people are afraid to talk about current subjects such as homosexualism. We're afraid to talk about that, although we're just breaking through that shell. We're afraid to talk about religion. We're afraid to talk about politics and parties and stuff like that. We're afraid to talk about the illegal immigration because, as you just said, or as Desean said, we'll be referred to as racist. There are a lot of truthful topics that we need to be talking about, and this is one of the reasons why, and I'm sure this was planned. This is one of the reasons why most of us are so ignorant about certain things. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean stupid. I mean just ignorant because we don't have the information, and we just ignore certain things. What do you think?
Well, I definitely agree with you. People are ignorant because they don't have the information. I mean, that's what ignorant means. And also, people just choose to ignore the information even when it's given to them.
And that's where ignorance comes from, because we just choose to ignore certain things.
And going back to what you said about Marxism, I definitely agree with a lot of what you said when it comes to Marxism. But to go back, Marxism is just the belief in what Karl Marx spoke about in the past. So what he believed back then was, the state and the government owns everything. People don't own anything at all. You don't own any private property. No private property. It's not in the hands of the people. It's in the hands of the state. And also, he also believed in the working class people rising up against the bourgeoisie, the rich, and the working class people was called the proletariat back at that time. So he believed that the working class people will rise up against the rich. But now that's shifted because they can't really use that anymore. A lot of Marxists, they can't use that anymore. You can't the working class people have to fight. I believe that's why Wall Street, the whole, the whole stand on Wall Street kind of failed because they can't use that anymore. Now they have to use race Marxism.
Right.
Blacks have to fight up against whites. So that's why Trump, in the middle of that debate, called Kamala a Marxist. To be more specific, she's a race Marxist. That's why she was bailing people out of jail during the whole color revolution in 2020 with Black Lives Matter and Antifa. She was, so to be more specific, a lot of people nowadays are race Marxists. They want blacks rise up against white people, cause another color revolution. This time is going to be, for good, change the our government and how it works and the Constitution. Change all that, throw it out, and make America into a communist state society. That's how I see it. And that's, I mean, just look at the media. They're constantly race baiting.
Yep.
The politicians are always talking about race, black people this, black people that. It's constant. It's nonstop. It's
Constant
over and
race.
over, race baiting, just over and over. I mean, even look at the three leaders of Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors. I'm drawing a blank on the other two, but
Yeah, I don't
they
recall their
even
names either.
I forget their names. But Patrisse Cullors, she's in the media a lot, and she claims to be a race Marxist. She said it herself.
said it herself.
She said it
Yeah,
herself.
she said it. She said it herself. And her mentor, drawing a blank again, I believe her mentor's name is Eric Mann. I might be wrong about that, but he came out. It was in a documentary. He comes out and says that America's like one big elephant, and you're like a gnat, and you constantly attack the elephant over and over and over until when you do it decades on decades of attacking an elephant, eventually the elephant dies. So they have to poke and prod and constantly keep attacking America, keep drumming up the whole, the fear, the Marxism, until it finally collapses. Right. So it's just, nowadays it's more so about race Marxism instead of the working class. Yeah.
The idea, as you said, the elephant and the gnat, the idea is to attack, which is what's happening now. America is being attacked financially, religiously, maybe sexually or gender. I don't know if you want to say genderly.
Oh
or
my God.
There's a word in there that describes that. But America is being attacked in so many different directions. Like you said, it's like gnats attacking all at the same time to bring down America. Now, America does definitely have its issues, that's for sure. But a lot of people, they're leaving their homes, they're leaving their other countries to come to America for the possible dream that America will provide for them. But yet America is being attacked by this, again, let me show you this book, by this great reset idea, by this, I was going to say gentleman, but by this guy named Klaus Schwab. And if you remember,
You will own nothing and be happy. He says.
Yes, if
You
you
will own nothing and be happy.
if you remember, part of and I think we mentioned this the last time, part of the Biden administration, well, what Joe Biden said, and he has this cliche, build back better. You know that.
Yeah,
Build
yeah.
back better. Those are the words said by this guy, Klaus Schwab. And I encourage you to go out and look for these books and see if you can find them. Or I got a great resource for you. You can give me a call or check my email. What's my email address? DJ Avalon nh at gmail.com. DJ Avalon nh at gmail.com. If you want, give me a holler and I can give you a great resource for these books here. But let me just point out to you why we have these books up here. This one right here, as you can see, this is the Constitution. This is the teacher's form of the Constitution. You see how big that book is? Yeah, yeah. But this is the teacher's edition of the Constitution. Now, there is a pocket version right here. You can carry around and you can just look at it as, for reminding points or memory jogger or what have you. You can look at that. But this is the teacher's version here. This one right here, we touched on this last time. Agenda 2030. You got to get this book and run through it to see
need that
what.
book.
Yeah, to see what Agenda 2030 is. But yeah, so if you can get these books, teach yourselves. I gotta say, when I was younger, I used to hear people talk about this kind of stuff, and I was like, dude, you're crazy. There's no way, because with all this information and the ultimate the ultimate goal seems so crazy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you've got to be crazy. There's no way anybody's trying to do this, but there are a lot of people out there. I mean, you take a current politician right now, like.
Not me. I'm not bought and paid for.
Yeah, we're not politicians.
But you are running.
I
for
am
state
running
rep.
I am running for state rep in Nashua, Ward 7. But you take Bernie Sanders. Okay, Bernie Sanders is a socialist. He said he's a socialist. There are other people that are trying to reinterpret his words and try to re-explain what he said.
Instead of Bernie Sanders, what about Chris Sununu?
But he said he's a socialist.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but like, well, what about Chris Sununu? Did he just passed the legislation to make it so that you have to show ID in order to vote, but it's until after the November election. Why would you do that after the
He
November
did
election?
it post the election.
Yeah, instead of before. So it's like
It should be before.
It should
I
be before.
thought it was before. I know about
He just
about
did
the
it.
legislation, but I guess I didn't read the details.
Yeah,
because I didn't realize it was post.
Yeah,
this
I said,
election.
thank goodness Chris Sununu actually did something, but he did it till after the election. So it was like, why would you do that? And it doesn't really make any sense that a lot of
Really?
these politicians, the only reason I mentioned Chris Sununu because it brings it back home, but when you talk about other politicians, I mean, a lot of them are pretty much bought and paid for.
Yeah.
They'd rather take money than actually listening to the people that actually voted him in.
A lot of them, a lot of the politicians are bought and paid for, and I mean both parties, and I think that's where we got the Republican neocon from.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what that term
and
comes
that's
from.
like a new term.
Because
Yeah, I never knew what that meant.
because I think so. I mean, I don't know the dictionary version of it, but I was thinking about it just recently, and I thought, because I know that there's some Republicans that are globalists. They want global government. The Socialists, the Socialist Party, most of the Democrat Party, they want socialist government. And as a matter of fact, because, and this goes way back, because certain people of the Democrat Party didn't believe the same philosophies or had the same tenets of that Democrat Party back then, they split off and reconstituted the Republican Party. Because the Republican Party first existed, and it was called the Wiggins or something like that. I mean, I'm sure you know what it was called, but it began with a W, and then the Democrat Party came into effect, and then they split off and reconstituted the Republican Party. But if you really want, because we can't go into all the information in the
I know.
half an
We have-
hour that we have, or
Thank you,
whatever
Brendan.
it
He
is.
just filled us in. We have 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to different problems, like we said, we're mainly focusing on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and Marxism. But Avalon said we're getting hit from all sides, right? We're getting hit from everywhere. I mean, the border's open. We have the World Economic Forum. You just talked about Klaus Schwab. We have the
Yep.
United Nations. We always talk about the United Nations
Yep.
and the different groups that we're in.
And if I can say, I don't mean to cut you off, but since we have such short time,
Yeah.
if I can say, let's see, we say Marxism and we say socialism and we say all this. Socialism
Thank you.
is socialism, and then Marxism
Well, what
is a
is
part.
socialism?
So socialism is where you have this global, or the finality is to have this global government, and there's so much though. There's so much. Put it like this, like he said, the government will own all property. You won't own anything, and you'll be happy.
And
That's what
I
it
know
is.
I won't be happy.
I won't be either. I mean, I like the idea of owning something, own my car, own my home, and then show my pride of ownership by keeping
Yes.
keeping my lawns
Yes.
nice and trimmed down and manicured and all that kind of stuff, with my hedges all
Mm-hmm.
nice and everything. That's pride of ownership. When you own nothing, you tend not to take care of it.
Yeah, I was
And
going to
your
say
body is really, no forced vaccines,
right.
Yep.
like, true freedom.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't people want to mandate vaccines and all this weird stuff. I don't know what that is. I mean, someone recently, this was a video viral going around right now. A young lady just got 3 different vaccines all at once. It was like tetanus, hepatitis C, or something like that, and another vaccine. And now she's she's so disfigured. That may be because she got all 3 vaccines at once. But at the same time, I'm a big proponent of no vaccines at all. I don't think they're healthy. I don't think you need them. But that's just my personal view. But if you take all 3 at once, that may have something to do with it.
Well,
however, I mean, go back to socialism, what you were talking about. I believe socialism is a transition. It's more of a transitional phase into communism, because what they really want is the government to control everything.
Right.
And they really want to control all of it, because we look at the Great Reset, which, by the way, the United States, America is giving money to the World Economic Forum. I didn't realize that until recently. How are we giving money to a third-party organization? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. But we also give money to the United Nations, so there's that.
Yep.
But I'm not too versed on socialism, but I do believe it is a transition into communism, because what they want to do is control everything. Because under communism, the government, the federal government, controls all of it. So you don't really.
Well, communism, Marxism, you have Leninism, all these different isms are part of socialism.
Yeah, you're right. But Marxism is more of a belief, and then socialism is more of a state functioned.
When socialism came along and it didn't work, then Marx decided to add his twist to it. And so it became a little bit more in depth, and that didn't work. And Stalin and Lenin added their twists to it, and this is why they're the differences. And then you have the the Russian communism. This is why you have all these different names, but it all comes back to socialism and its different forms. That's what it really is. It's all socialism, just in different forms.
And it's not good.
And none of it
This is
is
not
good,
good.
because
we
ultimately
lose our freedoms.
we lose our freedoms. We do not pray to God. We don't have the only God we pray to would be the United Nations. You talk about God-given unalienable rights. Okay.
God-given rights.
God-given rights and guaranteed in the Constitution. We won't have this Constitution. We'll have another Constitution based on, on the Illuminati.
Yes. So we're going down the wrong path, and that is why we support President Trump.
That is,
Into
and
making
that's
America
why.
great again.
Yeah, make America great again. We believe that and this is why there's so many attempts in different fashions to take him out, because when he gets, I believe that when he gets back into office, he's going to put a big dent in the efforts of the United Nations. Let me see if I can get that right there. Yeah.
Because we need to pull out of the United Nations.
The UN, yes, we need to get out of there.
100%.
We need to get out of there, get out of the United Nations. But the United Nations, the UN Agenda 2030, start with this book. It's a small book you see right there. Start with that. I'm sure you're a better reader than I, so you'll go through it much faster, probably in one night. I started, but I have so many other things that I'm doing, so many other projects that I'm doing. So, I don't get to go through it. And then, when I start, it's like, one page and I'm ready for bed.
And really, they want to exhaust us.
Yeah.
And what
That's
I say
exactly.
is they are the elites, the globalists.
Yeah.
They want to exhaust us with information, and what we really have to do is just keep it simple.
I mean, I do agree. I mean, I think the biggest problems we really have to deal with that's really going to change this country is, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think Trump is going to do it, but we really need to finish what JFK started and issue our own currency. Or Congress should be the one issuing our currency, not some third party, the Federal Reserve.
Not the Federal Reserve. No.
That will fix so many problems, as well as getting rid of the United Nations. I mean, we can talk about, you know, all these other issues. I mean, DEI, Marxism, and all that kind of. I mean, that's more of a cultural problem that we have to fix over time. But when it comes to like the food crisis that we're experiencing in this country, they're attacking farmers. You know, chemtrails, our water supply. I mean, the East Palestine, Ohio, was it FEMA never even showed up? Well, they showed up until after Trump
Way
showed
later.
up.
Wow.
There's a whole host of problems that's going on in this country, and a lot of those problems will be fixed if we issue our own currency and get rid of the United Nations. Like, it's kind of like if you fix one problem, you fix 10 problems all at once. So we can't focus on like the nitty gritty small stuff, but the main goal, again, would be the Federal Reserve and the United Nations, in my opinion. And then the cultural issues, well, we really need to fix that by gaining control of the media again, because we can't have people going around pretending to be dogs or opposite genders and all that.
Oh my gosh, it's just pure lies. That's theater. Just, you know,
that's just
head to the theater if you want to be a dog or a cat. Enough is enough.
That's crazy.
So
I got my wife is a teacher, and she has a kid in school
with a litter box
that believes she's a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes back to what the three-letter agencies, right? The Department of Education. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, we should even. That's a really big issue. But a lot of three-letter agencies. I mean, FBI, CIA, Department of Education.
We have 1 minute. So, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. Definitely going to have you
You
guys
are
back
so welcome.
again.
We're going to come back. Yes.
We're definitely going to come back. And but if you want, and you know, you can reach out to Avalon. Desean, are you on Facebook yet?
I am not on Facebook.
All right. Well, we'll figure out how we can connect. But I guess the biggest thing is getting out the vote, because if we get out our common sense vote for President Trump.
Yes.
Red all the way down.
And vote for Avalon.
And vote for Avalon.
Yeah, Avalon
And
Lewis,
I'm a delegate in Ward 6.
Yeah.
And the big thing is, you know what? We need to make America great again. And that's protectthevote.com. You can go there as well. And TrumpForce47.com. Join us as we get out the vote to make America great again and to make America healthy again.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
We need to get back to America and Americanism.
Yep. America first.
America first, yes.
People first.
I agree.
God bless you guys. God bless America.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Until next time, stay chill and vote red.